Hey Vicki. So I figured this was going to be the best way for me to get back to you with all the details to these questions. So, okay, talked about dairy, talking about potentially removing dairy from your diet, and it's not forever. This is something that I want you just to be mindful of. Like, some people love to just have the ice cream with their kids, but if you're noticing it's causing you issues, is it worth it? That's a decision that you get to make. And so when you guys go for ice cream, say you go for ice cream with your kids, can you get a sorbet instead, which is more fruit and it's more fruit based, and you can get like a yogurt based one as well. Is that something that's more available to you, right? That's something to think about. Cheese, I'll tell you, like I said, I've been somebody that's been dairy free for a decade, and it's something that took me a little bit of time to get used to. But you can definitely substitute with other things along the way to make things a little bit easier. Excuse me. There are other things that you can definitely have that you can like substitute in those times. Like say you're having tacos or burgers without like, again, I'm someone that doesn't eat cheese and I haven't in a very long time, so I don't even notice it not being there. But having a slice of avocado on there will be good. You can get like cashew cheese if you'd like, and just get slices of that. There are things that you can get for sure that would make it a little bit more doable if that's something that you really genuinely love and you're like, I don't want to give this up, but I know that this is something that I'm actually suffering with and struggling with, and so I need to make some sort of change. So I can get you a few different dairy-free options if you would like, but like tacos, I just don't even have cheese on it and I don't even think about it. You could always try. I would recommend let's give you 2 weeks at least without any dairy at all, and then trying adding in feta or goat cheese. And the reason for that, feta, if you can get actual sheep feta, that's ideal. And it's a very different type of protein and different type of fat for your body to break down. And so I find that even as somebody that like I haven't been able to eat dairy since I was 3 years old, I did for a long time, but I wasn't actually able to digest it. Those are different types of like cheeses that I'm able to eat without having anywhere near the same kind of effects. Goat cheese never is an issue. So something to think about, right? You can try adding in different types of cheeses, but dairy-free cheeses are like they're a good option to begin with. If you're like, I need to substitute and I'm not just gonna, I'm struggling to go just without, then we can of course substitute those in. And so I'll send you some of those brands that I'd recommend because I've tried many of them and some of them are atrocious and awful, and some of them are really, really good. So that's my first response to the dairy. When it comes to like tacos, if you're having like, say, are you having like hard shell tacos, for example, or are you having like soft wrap tortilla tacos? Frick. This is the real unfiltered, unfiltered version of me that you're getting. And so you could add things in like guacamole into your taco. It'll have that little bit more of the fat. It'll also give you a little bit more of that sticky texture that maybe you're looking for. But I can send you some different dairy-free options if you'd like as well. The fact that you're starting to see less bloating and less discomfort is a huge win. Like those are huge wins in your dairy and like reducing that right now, right? So that's the win, and learning to trust the process. You're right. Like this is a hard part when you're like learning how to not diet and just eat well, and you're like, but I need the structure, I need the routine, and I need somebody to tell me exactly what to eat. That's where you've had how many recipe books now? You know what recipes you like. You know what you liked from doing the Fit Body challenges. You know what you liked from doing Nutrition by Michelle. You know what recipes worked well for you and your family. Now, how can you integrate those now and just be mindful of other aspects? And the other aspects being high levels of protein, getting your workouts in, going for a walk, over anything else, making sure you just move your body, drink your water, and eat your protein and rest, right? And building a lifestyle of eat, sleep, train, and live, because that is really what it comes down to. So I totally understand what you're saying, and now you're in it. And so I get that a lot, probably in the first, well, I'm right now, all my clients are in the first 2 months, and people are saying the same thing where they're like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, but are you getting results? Yes. Okay, so what you're doing is enough. We've just been told our whole lives that you should be doing more. More is always better when it comes to diet, nutrition, movement, all those things, when that's really not the case. It's not always true. If you want to be a bikini competitor or a bodybuilder, sure, very different circumstance. But if you want to just be a healthy human being, it's not going to look like what you're used to because we're not doing a crash system. We're doing a lifestyle shift, which is one step at a time. As for your protein goal, 100% that makes sense to me. I will send you a protein goal for you. Give me 2 seconds and I'll come up with something like while we're in this video, but I'll give you like a general, but I'll send you the exact details in a minute when I'm done with this. So under eating, so that we'll deal with that with the protein goal and a calorie goal, if that works for you. Protein will be the top priority. Calories, it just gives you a guideline. If you're like, oh wow, I'm like 300 over my calories or my calorie goal, let's just see what your starting weight was. 165. Okay, so on average then we're gonna get you up to about like 170 grams of protein. Again, give me a minute because I'm gonna get you the exact numbers, but about 170, 180 grams of protein. Not necessarily tomorrow, but that's gonna be what we work towards. Okay, so that's gonna be like the end goal, and we're gonna get you up to about 1,800 calories, and then we're gonna pull you back down, but 1,800 calories for a little while to get your body to go, oh, we're not starving. We know that there's food coming. We're good. We're no longer stressed about where the fuel's going to come from. And now we can come back to a little bit more of that deficit to match the goals that we have. But that part's a process. And so we're going to go for about 1,800 calories to start. And so say it gives you just guidance so that when you're like at the end of your day, you're like, oh shit, from all the things that I had, I was at 2,300 calories versus my normal, which maybe is 1,400 calories. Now we know where the work needs to go versus if it's on days that you eat takeout, it's way higher versus the days that you are busy at work or you're at competitions or you're at games or whatever, you're at the beach and you're really low, right? So that's where it's going to be a lot of learning and intention that way. So I'm going to set those goals for you in your calendar so you'll be able to see that starting for tomorrow. That way you can just see it right out of the gate. And then you can start to work towards those goals. Again, your protein goal will not be at its max yet. We're going to work our way up to it. I'm going to start you off probably at like, I'm going to go back and take a look, but I think because you're not currently tracking your protein for me, yeah, you're not. That's just me checking your calendar. I think we're probably going to set you at like 120 and then we'll work our way up. And so I want you to track your protein if that works for you. Now you can track it in the app is what I recommend. Even if you're not tracking everything else, of course, as a nutrition coach, I like to see all the tracking because it tells us exactly what's going on. And it's not a forever thing, but it tells us what's going on in your nutrition every day and for like a week even. And then you and I can do an audit and go, okay, we're having lots of certain types of foods that are really impacting the fullness that's making it so it's harder to get the protein in, and we can work on that together. So that's what I'm going to recommend you do is we're going to start at 120 and work our way up into the 180 in probably the next 3 weeks, depending on how your consistency is. I never change the goal unless you're consistent. So if you're not hitting 120 every day, I'm not going to boost you to 150 because let's fucking hit 120 for a week and then we'll boost it up from there. Just so you're prepared for that, okay? This is what I mean, but it's a process. It takes time, which is why the 6 months is so perfect because it gives you the time to learn all these things and to learn about you in your current lifestyle. Sources for protein, like snacks that you could have. Okay, so I'm a big meat fan. I'm a big meat fan. But you can definitely do things like protein pancakes. You can do things like making yourself turkey muffins, which are really good. You can make things like just literally shredded chicken or ground beef. And like, now these are things that I eat. Okay, I'll tell you just straight out of the gate, these are things that I eat. And I'll send you the protein on the go PDF that I've made because it's really helpful. But I love ground beef and cucumbers. It's a favorite snack of mine. I fucking love it. Literally, it's like a salad without the lettuce because sometimes I just don't want to have the lettuce. And I just add salt to it. That's it. And so that's like an afternoon snack. And that's something that's going to boost me by 20 to 30 grams of protein, depending on how much protein I have in it, right? How much meat I have. And so that's something I like to do. But meat is your best friend, for sure. You can definitely do things like chia seed pudding with protein powder added to it. If you're reducing dairy, we're not going to have things like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese or anything like that, right? So meat is really what it comes back to as somebody that doesn't also eat dairy. Meat and high protein vegetables. So things like edamame is a high protein vegetable. If you eat fish, high protein. Steak is high protein. Like when I say fish, I mean like if you do sushi, sashimi, high levels of protein. Yeah, so that's gonna be some of the stuff that comes right to the top of my head, but I will send you that list. Like pepperoni bites, things like turkey bites are really high protein. Beef jerky. Now, I'm not gonna recommend that you just go to like Sobeys or No Frills and get lots of beef jerky from there. The reason for that is it's going to be high levels of processed meat, so it's not going to have nearly as much protein. It's going to have way more saturated fats. And so what I would love for you for that is like, I go to Rangeland Meats, so that's an easy one for me. I go to Rangeland, I grab their beef jerky, which is highest in protein over anything else by a landslide, and so I have that available. Tuna, high in protein. Have tuna with mixed, like smashed avocado, dill pickles, cucumbers, onions, stuff like not cucumbers, carrots, whatever you want in there. Have that as a little snack. You could put that on rice cakes or whatever you want, and then you can. That's another snack that you can have, right? So lots of different ways you can get protein in for sure. But meat's always my go-to, and like I do use protein powder every day, and I get on average 60 grams of protein from protein powder, in addition to about 80 to 100 grams of protein from meat. Eggs are also a really great source of protein. If you're not having eggs right now, definitely recommend it. I can't eat eggs, so that's just, it slips off my radar a lot of times, but that's a good one. Protein shakes. Yes, I do have lots of really good protein shake recipes. I do love the Arbonne protein, and the reason for that is it's low inflammatory. Now, of course, you can find other protein powders that work well for you. Most protein powders are dairy based, and that's why I don't have them. And so with you removing dairy for the time being, that's where I recommend for sure Arbonne protein, but that's a decision that you get to make. Let me know if you want details on that, because there's two different kinds. One is the lower carbohydrate, which is more keto friendly. I recommend that one. It's really delicious. You can pretty much mix it into anything. There's coffee flavor, there's chocolate, there's vanilla, there's strawberry. Like you can make so many different things, including like popsicles, like protein popsicles or whatever, right? So protein ice cream for yourself, which is really nice to have too. So there is lots of different things that you can try for that. Let me know if you want a link or if you have questions specifically on those proteins. I'm happy to give you any answers, support, questions that you have. I'm here to support you along the way. And magnesium. So magnesium is really good for muscle repair. It's also really good for hormones. And so might not be a bad idea. There's different types of magnesium you can get. Like you can get them at the supplement stores. You could get them at, I think you guys, what is it called? Health Foods in Pinoca. But like, again, I use Arbonne's and I really like it. But that's just the one that I love. And so I use that every day. And then especially close to my periods, close to my cycles, because it does help with muscle cramping, muscle recovery. It helps with hormone production, protein synthesis, all these different things. There's over 1,000 purposes and functions for it. So that's one you definitely could add. But what I honestly would add as a before I would even add that in, is electrolytes. And the reason for that is because with adding in more hydration, you're adding in more meat, your liver's gonna have to work a little bit harder. And so to add in electrolytes, what it's doing is it's helping your liver flush everything out and get rid of toxins so it can do its job better. It's also going to help keep your hydration levels up, especially during the summertime when it's as stinking hot as it is. It's going to help you keep your hydration levels up because you're gonna be sweating and sweating out salt, right? So we want to keep those hydration levels up by bringing sodium back in. Again, you can get these from a lot of different places. I recommend getting supplements from supplement stores or that's what I'd recommend. Like, I don't recommend getting them from pretty much any grocery store because they're going to be lower quality. But like, you can get, there's two different brands I recommend. Of course, Arbonne has a really great one. I love it. Literally, this is what it is right here. There's no sucralose, there's no fructose, there's no bullshit in it. There's no chemicals, there's no nastiness. But there's also like turmeric and cayenne pepper, which I believe there's cayenne pepper and ginseng. So they're anti-inflammatories, which are really nice too. That one, so I have that one, but you can also get a brand called Element, LMNT, and you can get that from online, but you can get it at Nutters in Red Deer, and I imagine elsewhere, but that's where I know you can get it. And that one's like a really pure, clean brand. It's really great. Both are good, in all honesty. This one, your kids would also be able to enjoy. I find most kids don't like Element. It tastes a little bit more salty. So it just depends on what you want, really. Neither is bad. It just depends on what you want. Yeah, so that's going to be kind of my guidance that I'm going to recommend. So let me know if you have any questions on the supplementation aspects. I'm happy to support you there. I'll send you that protein on the go PDF. And then I will be updating your calories and your protein goal right away. Again, we're going to start low on the protein and keep the calories at like the baseline that we're going to work towards anyways and keep it there. And then we're just going to keep the protein increasing. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, I'm here to support you all along the way. Sending you all my love, Vicki, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend enjoying the sunshine, keeping your lungs well because it's so smoky. Drink lots and lots of water. Talk to you soon.